Don't forget to like and subscribe to Jolie Crochet. Share with your friends. Hit that little notification bell so you can get notified when new patterns release. All our videos are available in left and right-handed tutorials. Hi everyone, welcome back to Jolie Crochet. I'm Crystal and today we are going to be making the Diamond Boho Pocket Wrap. Now this is essentially like a blanket wrap. We are going to be making 5 squares, and as they hang on you, they will hang somewhat like diamonds. You can choose to put the pockets or not. You could also choose to put fringe or not. So you have those options, and the squares are easily adjustable for larger sizes or smaller sizes, but I'm just going to show you one size. There will be a written pattern linked in the description box below. Also a link to join the Jolie Crochet community so you can show us what you've created. Now I used approximately 1,850 yards for this project and an extra about 100 yards to 150 yards to add the fringes on the ends. Now this pattern can be worked up in any weight yarn with the recommended hook size. You're just going to extend the repeats until you get the size dimensions that you would wish for. Okay, so the yarn that we are going to be using for this project, I'm going to be using Lionbrand ZZTwist. This is a medium 4-weight yarn. Comes in a 100 gram skein, 246 yards. It is a 100% acrylic yarn. Now you can use any yarn that you want with the recommended hook size, and I will just let you know the size of the squares that you are going to need to make for your project. All right, so we are going to be making a series of 5 squares, and I'm going to be using a 6mm hook. All right, so we are going to be making 5 squares. This is the size square for the pocket that we're going to put in the front. The repeat for the squares are all the same. You're just going to continue to repeat to get the desired size that we want. So this size here is 10 inches. So we're going to make 2 10-inch squares, 9, 10, 11, depending on how large you would like it, and then 3 large squares that are approximately 22 to 23 inches. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the squares. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make a magic ring. Now the way that I make mine is to make a backwards slip knot, and I pull the tail end through. So that way, when I am done with my ring, I can pull that closed and it will close the ring. Okay, that's the super simple way to do a magic ring. And now we are going to chain 2. Well, first pull up a loop. And then we're going to chain 2. Okay, so now into this ring we are going to place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 and place 3 more double crochets. So essentially we're making a square, with each side starting with 3 double crochets. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2. We're going to need 4 sides. And 1 more, so chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And then all I need to do is pull on my ring, or my tail, I'm sorry, to close my ring. All right, and this is the first part of our square. Now, the way that we are going to be joining our corners is going to be a little bit unconventional. We are going to be joining with a half double crochet. And the reason we're doing that is to set ourselves up to work into the corner space for our stitches. So from there, we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to place 2 double crochets into our corner space, which in this corner space is our half double crochet. Now we're going to place 1 double crochet into every stitch. Into our corner spaces, we will place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And that's what you'll do for the remainder. Double crochet into every stitch, work a corner, double crochet into every stitch, work a corner, double crochet into every stitch, and then I will be back here to teach you how we are going to close out that corner. Okay, so at the end of your round, we just have the corner space to finish up, so we're going to place 2 double crochets into that corner space, and then we are going to join with a half double crochet. Now we're going to get started on round 3. Round 3 is the first round of your repeat. So what we're going to do is chain 1 and single crochet over your half double crochet, and then we are going to back post single crochet around the first stitch. In this case, that also has the chain 2, so we're going to back post single crochet around both of them. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, back post single crochet around the next. That's your repeat. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, back post single crochet around the next. You're repeating that until the end of your row. Your last stitch of the row should be a back post single crochet before we begin our corner. Now our corner is only going to be a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then we're going to begin our repeat over again. Back post single crochet around the first stitch, chain 1, skip 1, back post single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, back post single crochet, all the way down to the end. Your last stitch again should be your back post single crochet. All right, so I am going to finish out round 3, and then I will meet you back at the beginning and show you how we close it out. All right, here I am at the last corner, and the way that I'm going to close this out is I'm going to single crochet and then join with a half double crochet. We're joining all our corners with a half double crochet, and it's setting us up to work right into that same corner. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2, getting started on round 4, and we're going to double crochet into that corner space, chain 1, double crochet into the first stitch, which is that single crochet worked into the corner, and now your repeat going down the side is to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, which is the back post single crochet, and then double crochet into the chain space. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the chain space, all the way down to the end. And when you get to the end, we chain 1, we skip 1 stitch, which is the back post single crochet, and then we will double crochet into that last single crochet of the side. To work our corners, we are going to chain 1, double crochet into the corner, chain 2, double crochet into the corner, and now getting down the other side, or getting started going down the other side, we're going to chain 1, double crochet into that single crochet, and then continue with our repeat. Chaining 1, skipping 1, double crocheting into the chain space. Go ahead and work that all the way around and I will meet you back here to show you how we are closing out this round. Okay, once you have worked your last double crochet into the last single crochet there, we will chain one and double crochet into the corner, and then we will join to the first double crochet with a half double crochet. Okay, getting started on round 5. We're going to chain 2 and place 2 double crochets into the corner space. Now we're going to double crochet into every stitch, every double crochet, and every chain space all the way down the side. When you get to your corner, we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. So we're just doing a full round of double crochets into every stitch on every chain space. I will meet you at the end of the round to show you how to close it off, and then show you round 6, which is the last round of our repeat. Okay, here we are finishing out the last part of round 5, and we're just going to place 2 double crochets into that corner. Join with a half double crochet to the first double crochet. The last round of our repeat, round 6, is another double crochet round. So we're going to chain 2 and place 2 double crochets into your corner space. And double crochet into every stitch all the way down the side. You will work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in your corners. And at the end, we'll end it the same way we ended round 5 with 2 double crochets and join with a half double crochet. And then you will continue to repeat round 3, 4, 5, and 6. So your back post single crochet row, your fillet row, and then your 2 solid double crochet rows. You're going to make sure that you end every square on a row 3. I still have to add my row 3 to these squares, but you're going to have 2 small 10-inch squares and 3 large 23, approximately 24-inch squares, all of them ending on a row 3, and I will meet you back to show you how to put them all together. Okay, so once you have your 3 big squares made, this is how we're going to put them together. We're going to put 1 square diagonal. This is going to be the back of your piece, okay? And then the other 2 squares, we're going to seam here and here. Well, we're going to connect them. I'm going to show you exactly how to connect them. We are going to use the same hook that we've been using. Okay, so in order to connect them, we're going to start at one end. What we're going to do here is chain 2 from the corner of our last post, and we're going to put a double crochet into the corner. Okay, so from here, we're going to go straight to this side, and we're going to double crochet into the corner. Now we'll move back over here and we'll place a double crochet into the first single crochet. Double crochet over here into the first single crochet. And now move back to this square and we will double crochet into our first chain space. Double crochet on the other panel into the first chain space, and essentially we're working row 4 by connecting them. However, we're not chaining in between, we're just moving straight over to the other panel and we're going to connect that way. So our chain space that we would have typically had in row 4 is actually a double crochet connecting the other side. Now it's going to look a little bit wonky right here from where we started, but don't worry about that when we put the border on the entire thing. We'll fix that up and clean it so it's nice and smooth. Okay, so continue connecting back and forth from one panel back to the other panel, both sides, so we have one big piece, and then I will meet you back to show you exactly how to get started on the border. Okay, so once we have one side all the way connected, we're going to move over and connect the other side. Right now I have my last double crochet worked into the single crochet right on this side. So from there I am going to place a double crochet into the corner and then work my first double crochet into the corner on the opposite panel, the one that we're starting to connect. Double crochet on this side into the single crochet, double crochet on the next panel into the single crochet, and now we're going to continue the same thing, going back and forth, double crocheting into each of the chain spaces. So finish that out and then I'll show you what we're going to do exactly for the rest of the border. Okay, so completing at the end, my last two double crochets are falling into the corner. So from here, all I'm going to do is cut my yarn and fasten off. And now we're going to get started on the border. You can start your border at any corner. So I'm going to choose my bottom back corner. Reattach my yarn to the tail. And now around my whole entire piece, I'm going to work a row 4. So I am double crocheting into the first corner, chain 1, double crochet into the first single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into each chain space. I'm going to work this down until I get to where the connection is, and I'll show you what we're going to do there. Okay, so as we come up to where our squares are connected, we are going to chain 1 and then work a double crochet into that last single crochet of the square right before your connection. We'll chain one, and then the last double crochet that connects the square, that's connected to the square, will be into the corner. Chain one. My next double crochet is going to be right into the top of this outside double crochet, well, the last double crochet that was created. Chain one, and now we're going to go back to the corner on the other side. So it should look like this. All right, so work your way around, working your corners as you, and then when I get back to where they're all connecting, where the back of our neckline is, I'll show you what we're gonna do there. Okay, so as we're getting to the back of the neckline, my last double crochet here is into my last single crochet of this side. Now I'm going to chain one, double crochet around the post of this double crochet here, chain one, and then double crochet into the top of the double crochet that's right into this corner. Chain one, double crochet around the post, and then we will continue around until we complete working our first double crochet into the single crochet of this side, and then working all the way around until where we get to where we started. All right, so that's what the back of our neckline should look like. Once we finish that out, we will work on the pockets. Okay, so when you finish your small square, before you tie off your tail, we are going to single crochet into every stitch and chain space, and this is going to be the top of our pocket, and that's just going to make it more stable. And then we're going to seam and sew up or stitch up around here to connect our pockets. So we're going to start it out just as if we were working a regular round in the square. So you're going to chain one and put a single crochet into that corner, single crochet into the next stitch, the chain space, all the way down. And that is how we are going to finish out the two square pockets. Now you can cut your yarn, or you can leave a really long tail in order to single crochet around to attach it. Okay, so I have gone ahead and attached one of my pockets here. They're going to be sitting on the inside corner of where your neckline is. So this will be the front coming down your body. So we're going to attach the pockets like this. Now this is probably one of the trickiest parts of this pattern overall. So the first thing that we're going to do is just place our pocket. I'm going to join mine at this ridge right before our last ridge. Count my stitches from the last stitch here going up to the last stitch here, and then we'll mark the stitch up here. And we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So I have my stitch marked here. I'm going to go ahead and mark my stitch going this way. Now once I have both of those marked on the bottom and on the top where my pocket should fit into the middle of, I'm going to follow this stitch going over. So now for my stitch count, I already know that my stitch is going to end right here, right at this corner. So that's where I'm going to start. Right here at this corner, double crochet. Now at your other pocket, you're going to start on the ridges on the opposite side. So I'm showing you the hardest side first, and then you can do the easier side next. Okay, so I am going to go into, remember we have this top row of single crochets that we did for that top of the pocket border. Now I'm going to work into this corner space, and I'm going to work around this double crochet at my corner. Now for each double crochet, I'm going to place 2 stitches. So I'm going through each of the stitches going down the side. And I'm going to work down this way. So I'm going to find my stitch, work my 2 double crochets. Now if you have an easier method to do this than what I'm showing you, by all means, go ahead and do what the easiest for you is. You don't necessarily have to join with a single crochet. You can join with whatever method that works the best for you. I'm just going to go into each stitch and continue to work my way down. Now I'm also going to go into the single crochets. I'm going to work it into the top of the stitch. And just do your best to make it as even as possible. As long as it's straight, all of these single crochets that we're putting in are going to really hide the stitches. So should be able to work down. And then once you get to the bottom, you'll have each stitch that you can line up. So we're working the single crochets into the top where the ridge is from the double crochets going around and then up here. So I'll meet you back when you get to the top, and I'll show you the last row that we're going to put in at the top of your corner, and then we'll work on fringe, and of course pockets and fringe are always optional. Okay, so now that I have gotten all the way to the top and my pockets are all seamed on, make sure that you are reinforcing the corners, because you don't want the corners to just be pushing on those 2 stitches from your single crochet. You want to make sure that you pick up more yarn in here. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now that we are at the top, as this is going to sit and as it's going to hang, it's going to become looser and looser, because it's not just a solid flat piece. It's going to be in front of you. It's going to be like squished up. So what we're going to do here, so it just doesn't hang all funky like, is we are going to single crochet 2 together all the way across. So in the first stitch, pull up a loop, a second stitch, pull up a loop with 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all. So we're single crocheting 2 together in every 2 stitches across the top. Now it's not really going to make it bunched up, it's just going to help it from sagging kind of sloppily, I guess you'd say. So go ahead and finish that out. You can go ahead and also work on the next side of your pocket. And then I'll show you how to make tassels if you want to put fringe on it. Not tassels, I'm sorry, fringe. You can put fringe or you can put tassels at every corner, whatever you prefer, whatever your method is, whatever floats your boat, that is cool. So I'm just going to finish this out and then we'll get started on the fringe. Okay, so I have got the pocket completed with my single crochet 2 together along the top of my pocket, and then you can go ahead and fasten off and weave in your ends. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make fringe, and I'm going to put the fringe along the front bottom of both squares and also along the back of the square, what's hanging in the back, but only on one side going down to the point, and then starting at the connection on the other side also going down to the point. Okay, so the way that I don't have tassel maker or fringe maker or anything like that. What I do is I just use a book. So this is just a book of questions that we have. It's about 4 inches in length or 6 inches in length the long way. So I'm going to make my tassels about 4 inches. So all I'm going to do is wrap my yarn around and around and around my book. I find this to be the easiest way because, for one, they're all the same. The size or the length is all the same. And once we get around it, all you need to do really is give it like this slight little bend, and you'll be able to get under pretty easily. Cut those, and I've got my first set of fringe. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, set my fringe aside, and I'm going to take 3. I'm going to take 3 fringes or strands, and going in from the back. So you're going to go in from the back of your work, so your hook is coming out the front. Grab my yarn, pull it through, and then basically just yarn over and pull through it all over again. Now the reason we go in the back is so that this nice little wraparound stays in the front. Can you take him out, please?
I'm sorry, I totally forgot. I like walked in like I owned the place. Yes. Inside or outside, I guess. Oski, no. Hey. He almost just tried to lay down. I was like, nope. I'm sorry.
So then I'm going to go ahead and take my next 3 pieces. And what I'm going to do is just go through all of the chain spaces. And that's going to keep it spread evenly and pull them through. Pull my 3 tassels through each chain space. Take my next set, fold it in half. You can go back and trim these if yours are not necessarily as even as you'd like them on the bottom. You can make yours longer, you can make them shorter. You don't even have to put them if you don't want to. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial and that it was easy for you to understand. I know some things are a little bit difficult to explain, but there is the written pattern below, so if the videos just aren't your thing, feel free to follow the link to the written pattern in the description box below. All right, thank you everyone for watching Jolie Knots Crochet. I'm Crystal, and I will see you next time.